All right, everybody, our eighth storyteller. Let's hear for Kat. Here comes our eighth storyteller, Kat.
Testing? Okay. So it's December 2006, and I'm in New Jersey driving to my parents' house with my new fiance, Dave. Last week, he had just proposed to me, and I couldn't wait to tell them. But more so, I couldn't wait to tell my mom, because ever since I turned 25 years old, she's been getting increasingly stressed about my unmarried status. At 25, she'd said to me, "In college, you were gold. Right now, you're silver. Don't wait until you're bronze." And she'd even suggested to me, like, "Why don't you just marry your high school boyfriend? He's really good." And I said, "Mom, I'm not going to just marry someone just to get married. I don't love him." And she scoffs. After 2 years, it's all the same. I've been trying to make my mom happy since I was a child. At 6 years old, she had cried to me at the kitchen table because my dad had had a secure job as a professor, but he had left it to get a more lucrative position in a company nearby. And in the last year, the company had closed, and he hasn't been able to find a job since. And my mom had worked for 7 years in a factory to support my dad while he was getting his PhD. And during that time, she had worked so hard that she had suffered a miscarriage during that time. And one of the things that got her through it was this hope for the future, that things would be worth it in the end. But now it was all gone. My dad is 50 years old and can't find a job. And I love my mom so much, with my whole heart, in only that way that little kids can. And at 6 years old, it pained me to see her in such despair. And I made a promise that night that somehow I would make her life better again, that I would make her happy. But I would go on to fail her many times in my life. I didn't achieve that Asian dream of getting into an Ivy League college. I didn't get some lucrative career to make up for it. And ever since I turned 25, which was 3 years prior, she had had this painful, repetitive complaint. Like, "Why don't you get married? You're my one problem left. If you just got married, I could be happy." So here I am on this December's Eve. I had found a man that I really loved. It had only taken me until the ancient age of 28, and I was finally going to give her what she exactly wanted, and I couldn't wait. So Dave and I pull up into my parents' house, and we walk into the house, into the living room, where they're both sitting and watching TV. And we sit on the other couch, and I casually put out my hand to show her my ring. And she turns and looks down at the ring, her face unchanging. And I'm waiting, and all I hear is the sound of the TV, and I'm watching her face, and I'm thinking, she must be so happy she's in shock. But nothing happens. And then in that next moment, she turns her face away and shrugs with indifference. And I'm still waiting there, and then it slowly sinks in. She's not going to congratulate us. She's not in shock. She's not even happy just for me. And then my first thought is, bitch. But then my second thought is this deeper realization that I can't make you happy. I don't think anyone can. And then I thought, oh, you don't know what makes you happy. That's why when I give you exactly what you want, there's nothing. And as quickly as my fiery rage had come in, it left. And I felt surprisingly free from a promise that I'd made at 6 years old. And it was in that moment that I made another promise. I promised from now on, I'm going to make me happy. I'm going to find out what that is. So I leave the house, and I start doing things I never would have before. I start making risky career moves. I dare to leave New Jersey to go to New York City across the river, and both sides of the family are unhappy. And then years later, my husband and I and my daughter, we quit our jobs, sell everything, and moved to live abroad. And even though my mom is appalled and upset with us for taking away her granddaughter, I stay true to my heart. It's my new compass. And a few years after coming to Colorado, something surprisingly happens. My mom starts becoming supportive. And this last summer, on a family trip to San Francisco, my mom says to me, "I'm sorry for how I was before. And at 85 years old, I know I don't have to worry about you when I'm gone. And I realized that my mom didn't need me to save her or to make her happy, that somehow by finding happiness in my own life, I had set us both free. And her reaction to my engagement was the best thing she could have done for me. She freed me from this naive and impossible promise. And I learned that the only person who can make us happy is us.
Keep it going for Kat.